So now we move on to the next method of getting remainders, which is cut to get the answer. Cut the numerator and denominator with the number and solve by adjusting the power or split up. Okay, looks confusing? Let's start this by understanding with a problem. So I am being given 6 divided by 4, the remainder for that is 2, 4 ones are 4, the remainder is 2. But I try and cut this and then I get the remainder. So 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4, 3 divided by 2. Now the remainder comes out to be 1. So what happened? As I cut it by 2, the remainder answer for the remainder changed. Okay, so what do I need to do right now? So you need to understand you don't need to cut and get the answer. As soon as you cut and get the answer for remainder will change. There will be condition where you are supposed to cut to get to the final answer. Okay, so what do you do to get to the original answer from the answer that you have got by cutting it? Multiply the change answer by what you have cut. Okay, so let's make it simple. 3 divided by 2, the answer that I got was 1, which is not my original answer. The original answer is 2. So what did I cut by this? I cut this by 2, right? So I'll multiply the answer that I am getting 1 by 2 by what I had cut, okay, to get the original answer of 2. Okay, so in case you have to cut, just multiply by what you cut to get the original answer. Still, it looks a little confusing. Now let's put this in a problem to understand this concept even better. So now we solve a problem which is given to us as 3 raised to 85 divided by 6 and 2 raised to 70 divided by 96. Let's take the first problem. 3 raised to 85 divided by 6. Now if I try and split this up, as 85 times divided by 6, I am not getting any answer. So I fail with my first step of solving. If I try and adjust the power of 3 to get a positive remainder of 1 or a negative remainder of minus 1, again I'll fail because no power of 3 divided by 6 will give me 1 or a minus 1. So I fail with step 1, I fail with step 2 as well, and that is when step 3 comes into the picture. Cut to get the answer. So what will I do now? I'll try and cut something to get to the answer. So I'll write 3 raised to 85 as 3 into 3 raised to 84 divided by 6, which is 3 into 2. Why do I do this? So that I can cut 3 here. So now the problem is reduced to 3 raised to 84 divided by 2. Okay, now this becomes simple. Now I can solve this by split up, okay, which is my earlier method. So 3 multiplied 84 times divided by 2. What will I do now? 3 divided by 2. What is a remainder for this? What is the remainder for this? 3 divided by 2. The remainder is 1. The 1 will come how many times? 84 times. So 1 multiplied 84 times is nothing but 1. 1 divided by 2. The answer for this is 1. Is this the final answer? No. Okay, and that is what you have to understand. You got this answer by cutting it from 3. Okay, so as to get the original answer, multiply the answer that you are getting after the cut by what you have cut. Okay, so what did we cut this by? We cut this by 3. So I'll multiply my final answer, that is 1. Okay, I'll multiply this 1 by 3. Okay, to get to the original answer of 3 raised to 85 divided by 6. So the answer that I am getting here is 1. I cut it by 3, so I'll multiply final answer by 1 into 3. I'll multiply this 1 into 3, and 3 is the final answer to the question. Okay, just know why did we multiply, because we cut it at the start. Okay, the answer that we got was not the final answer, so we have to multiply in the end, and that's what our step 3 of remainder is saying. Cut to get the answer. Let's take one more problem to understand it even better. 2 raised to 70 divided by 96. If I try and split this up, I'll not get any answer. If I try and adjust the power of 2 raised to 70 so that I can get a positive remainder of 1 or a negative remainder of minus 1, again I'll fail. So I fail with step 1 and step 2, and that is where step 3 comes into the picture. Cut to get the answer. But what will you cut with? All that you have in the numerator are 2's. Okay, all that you have in the numerators are 2, which is 2 raised to 70. So I will take all the 2's of the denominator on one side. Okay, so that I can cut all those 2's and I can solve it by a split up or by adjusting the power. Okay, so take all the 2's of the denominator on one side. I can write this as 2 raised to 5. 32 into 3 is 96. Okay, so now I cut 5 2's gets cancelled. This is 2 raised to 65 divided by 3. Now you can solve it. Right now this becomes easier. We had done this earlier. Okay, I can solve this now by easy method of split up. What will I do right now? 2 into 2 into 2. How many times I'll do this? 65 times. Okay, divided by 3. Okay, guess it. 2 divided by 3. Remainder of minus 1, negative remainder of minus 1. This is nothing but minus 1 multiplied 65 times divided by 3. Minus 1 multiplied odd number of times is minus 1 by 3. But negative remainder is never our answer. To get the positive remainder, add minus 1 plus 3 is nothing but 2. So I get the answer as 2. Is 2 my final answer? No, because you have cut to get this answer. That is why it is not your final answer. To get the final answer, what will you do? With whatever you have cut, multiply the answer that you are getting. So I had cut by 32. You can remember we have cut this by 2 raised to 5, which is nothing but 32. So the final answer 2, I'll multiply this by 32. Okay, I'll multiply 32 into 2. Okay, which comes out to be what? If I multiply 32 into 2, it comes out to be 64. So 64 is the answer of 2 raised to 70 divided by 96. Now we will still imagine, can I get the answer as 64? Yes, because the denominator is 96 and the remainder will be lesser than 96. 64 is lesser than 96.